Welcome back, everybody, to the Wild Faith Podcast. My name is Evan Bungham, and I am joined by my co-host, Luke Timmons, here tonight, and we have an exciting episode for you this week. This week, we're going to be talking about skills worth passing down. Luke, how are we doing today?
Doing good. Doing good, man.
Doing good.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like this is like I would say this is probably like the grindiest part of the year for me, because there's just, I'm not into ice fishing. It's dark by 4:30, and it's just like, blah. I'm just like counting the days till season. Spring. Yeah, like I'm done at Christmas and all that's over with. I'm fed up with the snow, and like it's been a weird year for us down here a little bit, because like we'll get a bunch of snow, and then we'll get some freezing rain, and then like it'll get warm, and it'll just gonna be like it's just an absolute like mucky mess out there. So, yeah.
Do you guys have a decent amount of snow right now?
Oh yeah, I mean we probably have 5-6 inches on the ground, I would guess.
Okay. Yeah, we had a decent little melt off when we had that kind of warm front come through.
Yeah, and we got another warm front now. Right now, like I said, it's been kind of just rainy and nasty out, so they're talking about potential for some more snow this weekend down here. So I'm like, it is only January 6th, so
we have a long time.
yeah, I know. I'm just like, every time it gets a little bit warm, I'm like, I don't know. I look at my phone. I'm like, still early January.
It's kind of the polar opposite for me though. Right now, January is basically, I'm going to try to cram in as much ice fishing as I can, because I'm literally going to be gone in almost what it feels like for the entire month of February. Mm-hmm. And it's like, then ice fishing's over after that, because it's like you can't chase walleyes, and then it's like, you can go, I guess we can go fish for trout and pan fish and stuff, but I don't know. I like chasing walleyes through the ice. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah. It's final countdown, I guess, already for you.
The final countdown.
It's a year. It's like hunting seems to be like just a continuous year of final countdowns. Especially when you got dad life, work life, and you're just grinding. You're like, oh, come on, like. But
it's habitat season now too. So I mean, like that's one thing where I'm like itching. Sure. I'm kind of ready to chomp at the bit to get down on the farm and start doing some work. But I'm actually probably gonna hold off, because I don't even know if you and I have talked about it, but we are Jake Blow from Habitat Pro LLC. So I've watched his stuff for a minute now.
Habitat Pro, you said?
Habitat Pro, and he's going to be coming down to the farm in March. So we're going to put a plan together.
Minnesota.
I'm going to look it up right now.
I'm just looking at what it looks like. Yeah, Minnesota.
I know he's out of Minnesota. I don't know where out of Minnesota. I want to say he's up my neck of the woods, I think.
Yeah, I'll have to get him on the pod, man.
Pelican Rapids. He is going to do a podcast.
Sweet.
Yep. So if you, March 23rd. So if you want to take that day off and come learn some stuff in the woods, you're more than welcome to join us.
On Monday? Oh, that's a definite possibility, man. I like it.
So I'm excited for that.
For turkey season.
Yep. And that was kind of my whole bit. It was like, well, the sooner we can get in there, the sooner we can start getting ready for getting corn or whatever we're going to plant in the ground, and then getting ready for turkey hunting. And it's funny because I've already been seeing like an enormous amount of turkey content on socials, which is exciting, because at least it's going to keep my brain functionally like thinking hunting for the next 3 months.
Yeah, I've been on an outdoor boys kick, so my mind is on like,
that's what you said,
camping and doing all that stuff. So yeah,
go ice camping on the river.
So funny story. I'm not doing that. Funny story. The first like outdoor boys I watched with Liam, they were doing like winter camping with like sled dogs and stuff, and he was just locked in and just like, oh, this is so awesome. And I can only say this now because he won't hear this episode
for a little bit.
Yeah, but so this weekend we're taking a boys trip, just me and Liam. We're gonna drive up to Ely, Minnesota, and So we're going to leave Friday afternoon, drive up, get there Friday night. It's like a 6-hour drive for us. And then Saturday, we're going to check out I think they have a wolf center or something up there. He'll be all over that. But then Sunday, we are going on a half-day sled dog tour.
Wow.
Yeah.
Epic.
I'm just like, I'm sure we'll get into this probably with this pod, but like, why the hell not? Like, if you can do that stuff with your kids and like, he has Monday off of school. So I'm just like, full send, let's go. And he has no idea. Like I've told him like,
he doesn't even know.
No. Nope. I said, we're going to do a boys trip this weekend, just you and me. And he's just like, oh yeah, we can go to the, hotel, eat snacks, watch football. I'm like, yep. And you have no idea what's coming because he's going to lose his mind because he just loves like animals and anything to do with the outdoors. So, excuse me, it's going to be.
So you guys actually get to like ride on the sled dog?
I get to drive the sled.
You get to drive the sled.
And he gets to ride like on the front of it, like in a little sleeping bag and cover thing.
Sweet.
I know. I'm so like it's almost like who's going to be more excited, me or him? It'll be definitely.
Who are you going through for that? I've never even heard of that.
It's called Chili Dogs. Yeah.
I want to write that down.
Yeah. So I was just like, we were watching that and he was just like asking me a million questions about like sled dogs and stuff. And I'm like, dude, outside of the movie Balto and Togo, like I have no idea about sled dogs. So I was like, let's start looking into it. I'm like, is there anything in Wisconsin? There was a couple, but they were pretty spendy. And this one was like very, very reasonably priced. And it was like, yep, you can go on the trail for a few hours. You get to meet the dogs, do the whole kennel tour, all that fun stuff. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So
we will see you on the Iditarod track next year.
I don't know about that. That would be a grind, but yeah. So yeah, I'm excited.
Cool, man.
Report back on when we do another pod.
Take some good photos and videos.
I know. I'm gonna bring the camera. I'm gonna bring the GoPro, all that fun stuff. So
what about Rogan and
Boone? They're not coming with. They're staying home. Boone definitely
this is not fun.
Yeah, Boone definitely has probably the energy to do that, but no, yeah, they're not coming with for that one. So
dude, that's I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah,
that'll be fun.
I'm so jacked. So yeah, it'll be a fun one.
But to your point, that kind of does tie into what we are talking about. I just wanted to, as we get out of hunting season now, we're going to do some more, I don't want to say sporadic, but just more faith focused, more just personal focused podcast. And I thought this would be a really good one, just talking about just like, life lessons, skills. I mean, stuff that we've learned from our parents, grandparents, good friends, stuff like that. And what a cool opportunity you for you and your boy, but just kind of kicking things off. Just tell me a little bit about who kind of taught you for the most part, like most of the basic skills that you use in life today. And I'm assuming I know the answer, but maybe I don't.
I mean, it's probably a list of people. I mean, just starting out obviously with like my dad and stuff, very close with my parents still to this day, but just, I think more just so like with my dad, like what it like means to be like a man of God and like a man of like for your family and that kind of stuff. But then like also like my mom, like with all the love and support she gives us. And then, it's just, there's a list of people like my grandparent, it's just like, you and I are both very blessed to come from very good, families that are very involved with their children and their grandchildren and their great grandchildren, and stuff. So, I think it's just like a long line of just like, just good freaking people, man. I mean, it's just like very lucky. And, that's going to, continue on with, our kids, it's just like that, good cycle of bringing up your kids in a faith-based home and just like teaching them the skill. It's like there's that side of things, but then there's also the side of like work ethic. Like my dad was worked very hard at where he worked for 40 plus years, and so learning that work ethic of just like not being afraid to say yes, because I think that's gotten me to where I am today is like, I went to school for criminal justice and psychology, and now I'm an operations manager in healthcare. It's wild
to think.
I was grinding like back in the day, like when we moved back to Rochester, like I'm working at a freaking airport whipping bags, and there's nothing wrong with that, man. But like, I just wanted to keep grinding and just keep figuring ways out to just keep growing and grinding and learning new stuff. And that's kind of just my whole, I guess, mentality I've kind of picked up. And like, I'm not afraid to be a little bit selfish. And some of the skills that I rely on today are from me too. Just like figuring shit out, putting my faith in the Lord and be like, I don't know where the hell this is going to take me, but let's go.
Amen to that. And like, that's the interesting thing about like, we could do this podcast with, I think, probably any person of any age and get probably a wide array of answers. But I think it's unique for us of where it's like now being young parents of like you said at the very beginning there, like we were both very lucky to have very good core group of family, friends, and like role models.
Oh, right.
But, it's like, how do we foster that and create that for our kids now and build that trusted group of individuals that are going to kind of shape and mold our kids as we get older. So love it though. That's good. I mean, like, so with that too, I mean, what would you say, what is the one, and this is more of a lighthearted one, but like, what is one skill that you wish that you did learn that you obviously didn't learn from those people?
Say that again. Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, like, so obviously, like you're just saying, like there was all these good things you're able to learn. What are some things that you didn't learn? Like for me, like I was never able to figure out how to change my own oil in my truck. That was never passed down from my dad to me. That just didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, God, I don't know. I mean,
so I feel like there's a lot of things in life that we just kind of, you just like you were just saying, you kind of got to figure it out on your own.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it comes with just like life, like age and stuff. Like I remember sitting in the nursing home with my grandpa before he just passed away last year. Like, puts it into perspective. Like we all are sinners. We all screw up and have our days where we just like wish we could hit the reset button. Cause if you had the opportunity to mess something up, you did, right? Or you made sure you did. Yeah. Not maybe on purpose, but just like you get to the end of the day and you're like, oof, that was a rough one. I did this. I shouldn't have said that. Yada, 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 whatever it is. But like, I think like when you see someone at like the end of their life too, like you get a little bit different perspective on life where it's just like, did my grandpa mess up or have bad days or do the wrong thing? Of course, we're all human. We all do that. But like you get to a certain point in your life where you just realize like there are some things worth like worrying about. And there's just some things that are just like, who cares? Like just, and the one thing that stuck like in my head was just something he said towards the end was just like, how's your, it's a simple question. Like, how's your day going? He goes, yep, I'm good. Just trying to stack up more good days than bad. Like, it's just like a super simple thing, but it's like super just raw and like honest where it's like, yeah, if you can stack up more good days than bad, you're doing pretty good. Even if they're just like going back to like we always talk about, like the little stuff, like you're doing the little stuff right, the big stuff's going to fall into place too. So just stack up more good days than bad. And I struggle with that. So like in a roundabout way, like that would be my answer. Like just like the patience, like, one thing I really need to work on this year is like just living out like the serenity prayer the best that I can. Cause it's just, again, like just a super simple prayer, but raw and honest, like, grant me the serenity to accept things I can't. That's a hard one. Give me the courage to be able to change the things that I can. And then, the wisdom to know the difference between those two, because it can get pretty, dark and cloudy and mucky on, what are those things I can change? What are those things that I can't change? And, so that's kind of where I would, I guess, go with that one.
I love that. Kind of with all this too, of where it's like, I think between all the different age gaps of people that I've had in my life, from young to old, like, I've learned different things from my dad. I've learned different things from my mom, different things from my grandparents that have, vice versa, different for all of them, that they taught me stuff. But it's like the funniest thing with all of it, though, is like my faith journey and all that. All of them, I would say, for the most part, very Christian oriented and devout in their faith, and kind of structured me to where they kind of gave the blueprints for me to go and pursue it. But it's like, that's the one thing kind of going off of that, where it's just been funny, like the older I've gotten now, where it's like, it's one thing that you kind of got to show up and do on your own. People can pray for you, but they can't find your faith for you. That's something that you got to do. And that's been kind of a fun thing the older I've gotten now, to go through that journey alone. And now obviously going through it with my wife, and bring that on to our kids now. And that's right. I just thought this was like such a interesting podcast idea, because it's just like, there's so many things that I feel like I've learned now at 33 that I literally, if you could put them on a list, I probably still don't have half of them figured out, because it's like we're still like so young.
Yeah. Figuring it out day by day. That's right.
But I did want to say one little scripture here. It's Proverbs 22:6, and it says, "Train up a child in a way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it." And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with it, where it's like, I just think we have a responsibility now of being young parents, and the older that we get, and hopefully we're blessed with grandkids and stuff like that, that we can continue to keep fostering and lighting that, flame to where they can continue to grow that fire themselves. But tell me just a little bit about kind of your kind of growing up and how faith shaped you in the outdoors.
Yeah. I mean, both my parents taught at some point, like faith formation classes. We were in church pretty much every Sunday, religiously. And, but, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they obviously built that core foundation, and that's, I think all we can do to strive for is like making sure that we build a core foundation in our kids. But like for me specifically, I think most people probably go through it, but especially like a young man goes through like that time in their life where they finally get like that free will, right? Like they get that time to be like, all right, I can do whatever I want now. And so maybe not everyone, but fall away from, for me, falling away from my faith a little bit, not going to church at all, being a C&E, Christmas and Easter goer. And then, I think you just, for me specifically, like with the outdoors, like that was like and it's not, I shouldn't say was, because it very much still is like my church, where I could connect with God and not have to be super intentional about it. Like I'm going hunting, but I also get a chance to like relax a little bit, get away from all the BS from life, and just try to have a conversation with God, and usually fumbling my way through it back then, and still definitely doing it nowadays, But yeah, I mean, just that's just probably a real simple answer, I guess, and just like having that core foundation built up with my parents, and then having that ability to be out in the outdoors, whether it was fishing or not a lot of fishing, more so hunting, and then going on some Boundary Waters trips with like with you and your old man and stuff, and just that kind of stuff is just like, it's just a good way to reset, and it's a good way to connect like back with your faith, and then just seeing that grow, especially becoming, a dad and stuff, and having that big time responsibility, come into the world. And then, obviously then you and I starting this podcast has really grown it, especially because it's almost forcing me to be more intentional, which is a good thing, like I kind of have to know what I'm talking about to talk about it. But yeah, that'd be my answer for that.
Yeah, I just think for me, of where I feel like God, as looking back at like when I was a kid, obviously my dad was such an influential person in my faith, but I feel like, just as a kid, like he would pretty much just set me off in the woods and be like, okay, there you go. You don't need to do 4-H. You don't need to do any of those clubs or anything like that. You just be like, go outside. And I feel like God at a very, very young age for me, like was subliminally advertised. Even if obviously I believed in stuff when I was a kid, but like, I would pray when I could, and you're just kind of going through the motions with stuff. But I feel like he bit me with a bug of subliminal advertising of just like, look at this grand adventure I'm going to give you. What's around the next corner, all this different stuff that kept bringing me back to want more and more and more. And like the older I've got and I guess the more wisdom I got, the older, that's kind of when my faith journey started to grow a little bit. I started to appreciate what was actually kind of laid out in front of me.
Right.
So it's just interesting to me now seeing it through my kids' eyes, and like you don't have to go to the Black Hills. You don't have to. I'm pumped for you guys to go do sled dogs. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah.
But like, even like, I just think of my daughter where it's like, oh, we're going to go fishing on a lake that we've never fished before. Like, that sounds so awesome. Or we're going to go walk in the woods that we've walked in 1,000 times. Awesome. And it's like, cool. So it's fun. It's just fun to kind of see that. But, through all that though, just tell me a little bit about the patience aspect that you've kind of developed over time now, and just how that's kind of applied to your life of just having humility and patience, just being, within fishing and hunting.
Oh, I suck at both. So a lot of patience. Yeah. I think like for me, the best part about it, like hunting and fishing and stuff, is just the fact that it has a real good way of just like serving you a big slice of humble pie. And, just when you think like, yep, I'm going to get a deer, I'm going to shoot a big buck, I'm going to shoot a limited ducks, whatever it is, like maybe, it's not just the activity, but it's definitely probably God just putting you in check a little bit. Like, hold on, buddy. Like, settle down. Like there's a lot more than just success, in the woods with filling a tag. But for me, it's been a lot more just like coming to terms with the fact that like success means a lot of different things. Like you were just talking about, success means like taking my boys out for opening day this year at, for deer camp, taking them out on the boat, like fishing this, like some of the biggest smiles like I've ever taken a picture of my kids is like Liam last year catching his own fish all by himself and like holding it like, look what I, what I mean? Like that's success. Like, so do I want to shoot a limited ducks and a giant buck? Well, of course we're human, but there's just, it changes, man. Like your perspective just changes out there. And so, I would think just like I suck at patience still. So, God's not done serving me humble pie yet, so I'm still learning. So that's definitely something that I, enjoy that part. And like, the embracing the suck. There's a certain aspect of that to it where you just like, it's gonna suck. You're gonna suck, but you're gonna learn something, and that's just kind of basically. I feel like every time you go out, if you look for it, you will find a way to learn something, some way, even if it's like, oh, I shouldn't have brought this shoelace, something stupid like that. But like, guess what? You learn something. You know what I mean? And now next time you're not going to bring that shoelace that broke on you, or you're going to bring a backup release. You're going to do all sorts of different things different because last time it went wrong, you sucked and you learned something.
No, and I think with that too, I just look at it where it's like the facets of my outdoor journey from, exploring the woods in the back 40 to going on trips out west and doing all these other excursions and stuff I've done, of where it's like, I feel like God, if you invite him into it, he has a way of showing you something each and every time that you go out, good or bad. Like you're going to learn something if you go out and you bring him to be a part with it. And if you don't, you're just going to suffer that much more.
Yeah. Real quick.
But it's, Yeah, man, it's just crazy now to be kind of where we're at in life, and like you were just saying with the boys and stuff, like it's so fun now to kind of bring them with that and see that through their eyes. And we want to try to keep things as fun as we can for them right now. But like then again, like me and Nora have had some outgoings of if it's either been turkey hunting or if it's been fishing, of where it's like talking about testing patience, of not only testing my patience. If it's like, well, we didn't see anything. Well, Dad, why didn't we see anything? It's like, well, it's how it goes.
That's what happens more times than not.
Trying to explain it to them and having patience with them, or it's just like double fold, But it's, it's a beautiful thing. And, kind of with it too, I just wanted to throw in one more piece of scripture here. I got Psalm 19:1. It says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the sky proclaims his handiwork." Once again, just like it's a beautiful thing to be able to get out and enjoy the creation that he's given us, the ability to get out and hunt and fish, enjoy it with our kids, all that good stuff. But I definitely think, if you don't have a influential person in your life and you're a young man or young woman, or you're a kid listening to this podcast, I don't know how many kids we have listening to this podcast, but if you are, I mean, like what a cool place to go out and just listen for the word of God, because he's going to teach you something out there. If it's, it could be anything. But
I mean, just on that note real quick too, because I know like you said, like a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people listen, but there are some people that listen to this, I guess. But like, just anyone that, like for me, and I'll be honest, like I still to this day hear God more in the outdoors than I ever have in a church. And I'm not saying like, don't go to church, or by no means, because I think it's a good spot for you to be very, very intentional with your faith, setting a good example for your children and your family, and like, having the more sort of the formality of like being intentional with your faith, but then also the ability to connect with others, through the church and stuff too, which is all good things. But yeah, I mean, like for me, like it's just like you hit it on the head, like with the outdoors, it's if you listen and you look and you're intentional with those two things, like you will find God somewhere in the outdoors. And it's not going to be every time, like anything. We're not going to shoot a deer or a duck every time, but
be nice.
You will, right? Like eventually you will. Like if you're very intentional and you keep showing up and you keep looking and listening, like you're gonna connect. Like the dots are gonna line up, and God's gonna reach out to you in some silly way, maybe, but He will do it.
So as a kid, kind of growing up, and we're just kind of flipping a little bit, but this is kind of the same vein, I guess. Like, as a kid growing up for you, and obviously we're going through it now, but like I feel like consistency played a big part into your lives of having structure and like just organize the chaos. Like, tell me a little bit about that for you, kind of growing up, and like how that kind of fostered you to where you're at now.
Just like the fact, like the having consistent parents or something, or like what did they? Yeah,
going to church on Sunday.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. We do decent enough I shouldn't say decent enough. We could do better about going to mass on Sundays. But just like that intentionality of just everything. Like my parents are very intentional with like how they raised us, and like, I mean, it's we laugh about it now, but like what shows we could watch as kids. Like we couldn't watch Rugrats. We couldn't watch like
I couldn't watch Harry Potter.
Well, yeah, right. Like just like there's those things, but it's like your parents are looking out for you in their way of doing it, and everyone has a different way of parenting, and that's okay. But you need to be a parent. You know what I mean? And so like it was going to mass every Sunday. It was sitting around the supper table literally every single night, unless we had sports or something, right? Because then you're traveling and doing all that stuff. But made it a very keen point of like, we will sit around the table as a family and connect, because that may be the only 15, 20 minutes that you actually get to connect as a family, especially when your kids get older. And so like doing that now with our kids, like connecting through, the supper table. And like one of the coolest things, like for me right now, well, not just right now, but going forward too, is like when we moved, they were selling my grandparents' house in Hayfield, and they had this beautiful supper, dinner table, and it had, the leaves that you could add to it, and
nice.
All just good hard just wood, like made like it was used, you know what I mean, like the good
like
stuff
it was used to be,
it's gonna last kind of thing, and just 6 beautiful chairs, and it's just now that's sitting on my supper table. So it's just, I think of all the years that my grandparents sat around the table with their kids, my aunts and uncles and my mom, and all the memories I have of sitting around that table. And then like it's the same thing of sitting around my parents' table, like all those memories, you know what I mean? So it's just like that kind of stuff, really sticks out to me. And then, like they made it a point too, like never to admit, I would say they made probably 98.9% of all of our games, or, that kind of stuff. Like they were, it's like your parents, they were there. They showed up for their kids because that was important to them, was their children. And
unless they left at halftime because you were playing bad.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, that those things matter to, kids. And so, that's kind of where I'd go with that one.
I love the supper table one. That like, that was such a staple in my family growing up, of where it's like we could have the craziest, like you and I, that's where it's, it's probably why we do what we do now, because it's like we both lived a very similar lifestyle, and it's like between the chaos of sports and 4 kids, like the one thing that we always had outside of church was supper time. Like my mom would make a good meal every night. We would sit down, talk about our day. TV would be off. It was just mano y mano with all of us talking, and I love that. Except the only thing is now we finally got, my brother-in-law built us a beautiful table when we first moved into our house, which is awesome, which is actually now gonna be my desk eventually. It's behind me now, but we actually just got a new dinner table, which is more fitting, I guess, for our family. But for the last probably, it's been 3 years that we've been in our house now. We, Nora's 4 now. So like, we're finally getting to that point where it's like, okay, we're going to sit down at the dinner table. Millie's going to sit down with us. We finally have really kind of gotten that habit of like having supper at the dinner table, being intentional about it, shutting the TV off. And it's awesome. I love it.
So
I love
nice.
picking her brain of like, hey, what did you do today at school?
Yeah, I've definitely found too, like you could be just having a shit day, or you fight with your wife, or you're, disciplining your kids or whatever. And like, you all sit down like awkwardly right away, and you say, say the dinner prayer and then like all of a sudden all that stress and all that anxiety and all that anger or whatever, all those emotions, just like, it's like the outdoors, just, and they just go away. And you're, I have boys, so they're farting at the table or something funny, and everyone's laughing about it or whatever. It is like by the end of supper, everyone's happy.
Love it. So what's one thing maybe that from your parents you feel like that you've, like when you were growing up as a kid, like from church or just from saying a supper prayer or just praying at night, whatever that might be, what's something that you guys still do today and something new that you guys do that you didn't do when you were a kid?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, something we still do today would be like I was just talking about, like having an intentional dinner every day. We possibly can, something new though. That's it. I mean, we have like our own like new traditions of like just random stuff, but I'm trying to think of something off the cuff.
I can go quick.
Yeah, you go, and maybe it'll jar my thoughts here.
Mine probably has to be the infamous team prayer before every trip, before any time we get in a vehicle and we're going X amount of distance, we always do a team prayer. And as soon as Nora starts to actually go to school and Millie's in school, like we'll do that before the kids go to school. So that was something my dad always did. The only thing I would say we've changed is a little bit of verbiage for the bedtime prayer. Cause like, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray to the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die is the original one. Yeah. So we've changed that to, what is it? If I should die. God, now I can't even remember what we changed it. So I changed that line though, because I just remember, I think Nora must have been 3 and she's like, I'm going to die. I'm like, nope, you're not.
Nope.
It's not going to happen.
Crap,
you're
insert foot in mouth. Yeah. That's funny. That's a good one. Yeah. I like that, man. I'm still trying to think of like just a random, something new that we do. Oh, I know. I'll just piggyback off of, like the supper table, but it's still like the supper table aspect. You know, we say our prayers, like we always did as a kid, but then something that we've added, I guess, to that is, like, just what are you thankful for? Like, and just go around the table. Like John, consistently, he's thankful for rodeo. And let's see, it's always something. It's always rodeo, and then it's usually like mommy, Liam, and daddy, or something like that. But like, then they add some stuff. Liam, obviously is a little bit older, so he has like every once in a while like a real good one. Like I'm like, oh dang, I didn't. It's like it's kind of funny. Like when your kids like go to like, because Liam's going to Catholic school now, and so like when he comes home from kindergarten, he'll just be like singing like a church song. I'm like, you know this, like your kid all of a sudden is like, I should say like your baby all of a sudden is like a kid that can like communicate and like think for themselves and like do their own thing. And you're like, whoa, like holy crap, you're gonna be 6 this year. And then I was, it just puts it in perspective. But yeah, that'd be the one I would go with. That's a good one. That sense of just being thankful for something during the day, because it does put things in perspective. Like you could just be having a crap day, but guess what? I'm thankful for, my wife and my 2 children that are sitting around this table and for this moment right here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Autumn does that with Nora before they go to bed. That's where it's kind of hard with just, you talk about different parenting and stuff.
Oh, right.
Like the last 6 months, like I have religiously slept with Millie every night between when it was from the bed to the bassinet to her crib now, and I've just been in the same room because it's just easier. Nora sleeps with Autumn, so it's like for 6 months I haven't slept with my other daughter to know what's going through, and like they have. Man, the stories that I get to hear, like the next day is like, oh wow, that's what she's. So I'm excited to kind of transition that around here soon. Yeah. But flipping the script a little bit, what is probably the number one outdoor skill that you're most grateful for that you learned from whoever?
Outdoor skill. I don't know. A lot of it. I mean, I'll go with you. I mean, you got me into bow hunting. You got me into, like a lot of that stuff. So I'd go with you, man. Like, yeah, like.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember like when we started Backyard Pursuits, like, was a sophomore or junior year of high school.
Long time.
Yeah. I don't know. But it was like you and TK were getting her going. And then I remember, I think we were sitting in grad math.
Probably
math.
Not learning.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it, dumb kid math. But I think it was just like all of a sudden you were like, "Hey, you want to like do some like film some hunts and stuff and do all this stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, sounds great.
Sounds better than."
And then
math.
I remember I did. I had to been junior year because I did, or no, maybe it was that, and then senior year. Moving on from that, it was I think because when did you stop basketball? Was it senior year or junior year?
My senior year.
Yeah, so then our senior year.
It was like the week before playoffs. It was like, yeah, done.
I'm done. But like, yeah, so it would have been our senior year. We were kind of had filmed some hunts. Like I remember going to like the, huge backs and filming TK do some turkey hunts and stuff like that spring. And then that fall, we had football, so we're busy with that. But then rolling into like wintertime, basketball getting rolling around, and I was doing Olympic weightlifting.
That's right.
And it was just like we literally hunted like every minute we could.
Out of Miller's and Flo's probably like every day sitting the same exact stand.
We get done with school, it was like, we'll just go hunting. And we literally sit in the same stand or throw up a deer blind like literally in the middle of nowhere at Miller's and like literally like I can remember like sitting in an open like just pasture in a deer blind with snow. They're like, yeah, this could be a good spot. There's not like a tree within 70 yards. Or like, like those are the things you think of. But yeah,
I think the funny thing I appreciate that a lot, and it's been fun. But like, I think about this every once in a while. I'll pop through my mind. Just imagine, because you got to learn somehow. You know, like some of the best young hunters.
You're gonna suck.
Oh yeah, like some of the best young hunters you see on TV. Like, you know, they're probably great hunters, but they're blessed with, you know, an incredible laid out property. Or like, I give utmost respect to like the hunting public guys, because like most of those guys are a little bit younger, but man, they're cutting their teeth and they're figuring it out. But like, if you could get back, like if I could get back my hunts from about 17 to about 24 for all the wasted, they're not wasted because we learned something, we had fun. But like, if you could get back all the sits I had between then and just like bank them for now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, now that we don't have time,
would be set.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I did a lot. I mean, we still do a ton of hunting. We don't get us wrong, but like
we are spoiled.
Yeah, but like that was just literally because you had that red Jeep.
Yep, that poor Jeep.
Yeah, that thing went through the ringer. But I can remember literally like holding the camera like this in the passenger seat. You were talking, welcome back to Backyard Pursuits, and we would have, this is how dumb we were, but we would have that, I think it's Joe Nichols, the Backwoods, or Josh Turner, one of those two.
Josh Turner.
Yeah, the Backwoods boy playing on the radio.
Turn it up.
Then you would turn it down, welcome back to Backyard Pursuits.
Copyright infringement.
Well, it had to have sounded just like straight garbage, because we didn't have like a mic on that old camcorder or nothing. But yeah, I would kill to have any of those, see those videos. I'm sure they're just lost to the ether, but like
there's a couple, like I every once in a while I go back and look at like a couple of them that we did. Like I think there's like, I don't know, there's got to be like 4 or 5 that are on YouTube still. I think a couple got taken down because of those exact copyright infringements, which is hilarious.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a long list of my absolute despising misses in archery. Put it that way.
Well, I was going to say that's the one episode. I don't think we ever made an episode of it, but that night with you at Miller's.
Oh, I know. I
can
entertaining
see this hunt I've ever had
in my head. Yep. I'm standing here on top stand. You're filming. I'm like pulling back on this decent buck, nothing crazy, like maybe 110 inches. And I'm just like, should I shoot? I'm like waiting for you to like give me the go ahead.
7 yards.
Like I'm shooting like this, like straight down the tree. And I'm just like, should I shoot? Should I shoot? I'm like, I didn't even say anything. I'm just like holding back. And there's like this old bear charge bow that had hardly any let off. So I'm just shaking like a sieve. And I'm like, should I shoot?
It's wintertime, right?
Yeah, probably. Because it would have been like
snow on the ground.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, I'm like, I gotta shoot this thing. And if I'm like, should I shoot? Should I shoot? You're like, what are you freaking waiting for? Should have shot it like 2 minutes ago. I'm like, okay. So then like, of course, I'm like excited. I like probably jump shot right over his back. And he just kind of stood there and I shoot again. I mean, it was rough. It was rough. Didn't get the deer. Long story short.
I think there was 4 misses.
It was 3 or 4. 3 or 4.
It was an empty quiver.
It was, yeah, that's a good way to put it. The quiver was empty, but it was fun. It was probably back to when we had. I don't even know if that. I can't even think of the company like for the lighted nocks, but like had it been
Luminoc.
Like, was it Luminoc?
No, not Luminoc. It was Double Take Archery. That was before they got bought up by Rage.
Okay, but it would had to been like Gen 1's, maybe not Gen 1, but like.
They're the ones that outside of Luminoc, they're the ones that invented like the modern day like what we have now.
So I mean like that they probably weren't that great. Not that was the reason I was missing. I just suck.
That was fun, man.
That was good memories.
So what's another skill that you wish you could have learned, or how should I say it? What's a skill that you wish you could have known that you know now that you could have learned back then?
For hunting? Or just whatever. For hunting?
Just outdoors. Hunting, outdoors. How do you want to play it?
Gosh, I would say, I mean, I didn't, until you got me really into like Jeff Sturge's, and his whole, like when his YouTube channel was really starting to like grow. Like as far as just like knowing when and when not to hunt. Like I can think of so many times that I went out. I'm like, I couldn't have told you if the wind was blowing and what direction. And now it's like sacrilegious if I hunt almost a fringe wind. You know what I mean? Or a little worse than a fringe wind. I'm like, I ain't gonna see. I can't do that. Also, I don't have as much time as I did back then, so that's a factor too of like like we talk about, is like picking the right days to take off, you know, a week or so in advance. You can kind of get a read on the weather. But yeah, just that would be I think I would not have a ton more deer killed, but I definitely would have had some more, put it that way.
That's probably my number one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with that too, I probably would have saved a couple $1,000s. Not that like I don't use scent killer now. I think there's a time and place for it.
Sure,
but like that's definitely like one thing where it's like I probably bought.
Wasted
I would love
money.
to know how many gallons of scent killer I've bought in my life.
Too many.
Like a lot.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, there's always a time and place, and we don't have to. I mean, that's a rabbit hole, but yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So, kind of flipping it around here, and we were talking about this before we jumped on the podcast, but I think this is a good spot of where, you know, we said it earlier, where every parent, or, you know, our parents, us now being parents, our grandparents, everybody had a different way of bringing their kids up,
right?
Disciplining their kids, teaching their kids. What is that balance that you've kind of figured out now and where you're at in life? And maybe you can just go off of where you're at now and then maybe just bring that back a little bit to what you've taken over from your parents or maybe your grandparents that you've learned.
About like how to parent or...
Yeah, I mean, just like, I think there's like, yeah, like there's a fine line with it. Like there's a fine line of disciplining your kid, encouraging your kid, you know, letting your kid fail, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, one life lesson that my parents always taught us, and I still hold, you know, close to my own heart, and then I will instill it in my own two kids, is that if you start something, you will never quit that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever that is. If you're going to start band, you know, playing the band at school, you may hate it, and you're going to hate me for making you do it, but guess what? You're going to finish that year out, and then you can decide after that. But you never quit something that you start. And I think that's just applied majorly in my own life, career, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. And like like specifically, honestly, to this night we're talking now, is like Liam had, I don't know, 2-ish weeks off, 2.5, 3 weeks off of wrestling practice. First practice, like the initial first practice went great. Second practice, he was kind of like tearing up at the end or something. Like, I don't know what ended up happening, or like he got hurt or something, whatever. But he finished. He didn't stop and quit. But then, like the third practice, right before Christmas break, he was balling, and then comes off the mats, and I'm trying to like pump him back up and like psych him back up. Like, dude, you wrestle way harder than this with your brother at home, and you're never crying. You know what I mean? It's just like a fear thing. I think a little bit about, you know, a little bit of scaredness maybe too. That's kind of the same thing. But and then we had a few weeks off of practices with, you know, Christmas break and stuff. And now tonight was the first one back. And I was like psyching him up all morning before work and dropping him off. And then like Jen picked him up from school. So I was like, you got to psych him up, like get him excited to go. You know, all your friends you hang out with at school are going to be there, like all that stuff. And then so we're driving. It was, I told Jen, I'm like, because usually it's all four of us that go and John just kind of plays around. But today I'm like, I'm taking Liam by myself. We're going to get him through this. Like, he's going to just, because I know he loves it. He's just scared.
Yeah.
And so I was like, just going to be us. I'm just going to take him. So the whole way there, we're listening to WWE entrance theme songs all the way to practice. I'm like, let's freaking go.
Nice.
Like, we got The Rock cooking. We got John Cena, Stone Cold. And then like I shit you not, I mean, it's like a 15-minute drive from our house. We listened to Real American for the Hulkster probably 3 or 4 different times, because it was like, I'm like, hey, if this is psyching you up, like, let's go, man. I'll lean into this hard.
I gotta tap into this for Norigo and the dance.
Yeah, I don't know if they have like dance intro theme song, but I mean, the glass shattering and Stone Cold's song kicking on, it gets anyone pumped up, I guess. But no, so we literally pull up right at the door. Like, we got great spots. Someone pulled out right when we're coming in. Get out, and it's before I can take my seatbelt off and shut the truck off to go back and get him out. He's like, Dad, I'm scared. I'm like, shit. And I'm like, okay, I got out and opened up his door and I got him all unbuckled and stuff. And he starts crying. I'm like, oh, dang it. We didn't even get inside. And I'm like trying to hype him up. I'm like, dude, like, I know you can do this. I know how much fun you have if you will do this. And I know you like to wrestle, because there's nights where I'm like, dude, quit wrestling your brother. You're going to hurt him, or you're going to just hurt me. You're going to hurt me. Like, come on, man. I'm like, let's go. Like, I can only wrestle so much apparently. But finally got him psyched up enough to get out of the truck and start walking in. And then, you know, like before, like we get there right as the big guys are getting finished up, you know, like the high schoolers. So we're watching them for a little bit, and then, you know, then they do their like huddle at the end and breakdown or whatever. And then like the kids kind of start running around and play before they start. He's doing that. He's having fun because he's just playing with his boys. And they start and they do like jog and in a circle, and then they do like shuffle and back, you know, they just kind of get warmed up, get the loosey-gooseys out. And then they break them into like age groups, because it's like K through 2. And so like, you know, they break up all that, and then they get in lines, and then they start doing like bear crawls and more like of the technical the technical side of wrestling, like doing those kind of movements and stuff. And he starts, I can like read him. I'm like, shit. He starts getting teary eyed, starts tears coming down a little bit, and nothing happened. Like he didn't get like popped or something, or somebody sat on him, or whatever.
Yeah.
But, and then so I walk over to, you know, where they were kind of on this mat over here, and I could walk over there, and I'm like, come on, dude, you can do it. I'm like, you look like a monkey out there, like doing his stuff. Like you're killing it. Like you keep doing it. Keeps going. And I'm like, I could like just see like the end coming. I'm like, oh no. Like, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. And then I'm like, he comes back and he's getting a little more teary eyed, and then he does it again. He's a little bit better. I'm like, okay. And then finally they were like, they broke for water or something. And I'm like, all right, dude. I'm like, this is your time. Like I'm not letting you quit tonight. Like you are going to do this. I'm like, I know how much you like wrestling. I'm like, go out there and just pretend you're wrestling your brother. Like, just go have fun. Like, just, you know, you're practicing. You're not actually wrestling right now. Like, coaches, like all the big kids are there helping out the coach and stuff. I'm like, you can do this. And he did it. And he had a freaking great night. And he had like he's like ripping takedown, like he's ripping double legs, and he's, you know, getting out of the referee position. Like, I was just like, it was so awesome to watch. Like, I was like smiling ear to ear by the end of it. I'm like, heck yes. I'm like, trying not to curse in front of all these K through second graders. But he gets off the mat, you know, he's having such a good time. It was like complete 180 in mood. And I'm like, it took every ounce of me not to be like, dude, I am so fucking proud of you. Like in front of all these parents, you know, all these parents and moms, and they're probably like, oh, what the heck? But I'm just like, dude, I'm so freaking proud. It was just so cool to see, man. It was like, but that's the thing is like, finish what you start. Like, you are going to struggle through so much in life, but if you quit every single time, life is only going to get harder. You're like, eventually, like, things start to get better. You embrace the suck a little bit. You're going to struggle. You're going to screw up. You're going to mess things up. And you're going to get down on your luck and be like, I'm a screw up. I'm messing up. But, like, keep going. Keep trying. Keep showing up. You know, keep trying. Yeah, the struggle's going to be there, but guess what? So are you going to be. So you can pop that thing right in the mouth and get through it.
Heck yeah, man. I love that. It's a win.
It's a win. Big win. Big win. Plus, then they all got T-shirts tonight for like youth wrestling shirts. And then next weekend.
Got the Wrestle Rat shirts.
Yep. And then next week they get to go. It's youth night for the high schooler match. And so they get to run on the mats with the big guys and do all their stuff. You know, so he's just jacked. I'm like,
eating it up.
Yes. We're going to ride that momentum into next week. Not that like I'm going to be that guy. I just can't say I'm not going to be like that super like living out my, you know, glory days through my kids by any stretch of the means. Like if it's next year and he's like, Dad, I really don't want to do wrestling. I'd rather do this. I'm like, okay, but you're going to finish this. You're going to finish what you started, you know? Plus I also told him like, this is a little bit of the psychology side of things. I'm like, you know, if you do a lot of wrestling, you're going to get really good at football. You're going to be able to tackle everybody. And he goes, you know what? You're right. I'm like, yep, I am, buddy. So just plant little seeds here and there, but it's good, harmless fun, you know? But yeah, I love being a dad. Like there's days where I'd rather feel like I need to scratch my head, eyes out, like, because it's just hot chaos. But then there's going back to the beginning. It's like Grandpa said, like, just stack up more good days and bad, and life's going to be pretty good.
Love that. No, that's good, man. And it's funny because it's like where we you got 2 boys, I've got 2 girls. Yeah. And if God willing, maybe I'll have a boy, maybe not. Yeah, maybe I'll just be a girl dad for life, which is fine. But it's funny because, you obviously know my upbringing where it was my old man was pretty strict with just everything. He was also the most fun and outgoing dad too, but like just when it came to sports and athletics and stuff, super, super strict. But it's like funny now how like God has put me in this situation where I've got 2 beautiful girls, and I still have part of that vein from my dad where I'm kind of a hard ass. And it's like, it is amazing though to see Nora now being at 4, having the mind that she does now, and like how she can just soften that within me where it's like, okay, real quick. Can't be this hard on those heartstrings. Yeah. You're 4, you're a girl, and like so like this is stuff that's talking about parenting and what I learned like as a kid. Like I think I was probably 9 when I started watching all 3 of my siblings, or 10, something like that. And we'd get home from the bus, I'd watch the kids until my parents got home, or sometimes my parents would work late. But like I learned a little bit of skills from that, but like I don't think anything that anybody taught me ever prepared me to like what having 2 girls would be like to be a girl dad. Yeah. Like I can't think of anybody in my life that like, so this is where it's, for me, it's been a test of faith and willpower and just like things of where it's like, I learn every day.
Learn something new every day. Yep.
It's just like, go with the flow, man.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
That's a good one, man. I like that. Yep. It's so true though. Like it's just like you try something, you try doing one thing this way and you're like, nope, that was not right. That was the wrong choice. Okay, we're going to do that one again. Or we're going to try everything we can to avoid that scenario where it's like, not going potty before you go for a road trip. So you got to pee 4 times on a 45-minute drive, or we need to feed our, we feed our children. No, but like we need to, snacks are a necessity, like you got to feed those little gremlins, sometimes to get them through, mass or something, or, that kind of thing.
We're in the phase right now of like going through being picky eaters and like the little things. Like tonight, my daughter was like, you know what? I like hard-boiled eggs. I'm like, great. That's better than a Kinder egg. Like we're moving the right direction on that one.
Yep. And then all of a sudden she's going to be like, I hate those things. And I'm like, because like my boys do that, they'll be like, I don't like cheese. I'm like, what? Whose kid are you? For one, we love cheese in this house. Cheese is the best. But 2, like you just ate cheese last night because we had grilled cheese. It's like, what are we talking about here? And it's just like, I think it's a little bit of that too, is especially like when they hit that like, 3-ish, more so probably like 4 or 5 age, where they're like, what can I get away with? Like they're testing their limits with that stuff. It's like, okay.
I know when my daughter comes up to me and she's like, Dad, I love you. I'm like,
what did you do?
Okay, first off, what happened?
Yeah. What did you break?
How are we already here?
Yeah. Is your sister still breathing? No. Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's so true. Because Liam will do the same thing. It's like, I love you, Dad. I'm like, I love you too.
Question
what
mark.
did you do? Like, and sometimes he's just being a cute, kid, just being, just a sweetheart. But sometimes it's just like, what do you do? And then it's like 3 seconds after he says, I love you, John's crying in the back. I can hear John crying in the back. I'm like, oh, you hurt your brother. Now you're trying to run over here and sucker me up before I go. Yeah. Be like, what the hell just happened here?
Drop the hammer down.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny. I'm sure you got some of the memes I sent last night, but like every once in a while, I'll get stuck down a rabbit hole where I watch freaking. You gotta do that every once in a while. I think I probably spent an hour on Instagram, and I sent probably 20 to my wife, and like I just heard her belly laugh in the day, and it's like half of them were just correlated to like what your 4-year-old does, and it's just like it's the best.
Yeah,
but flipping around here, so just walk me through. Tell me, what do you think the outdoors for our kids? And this is kind of just closing things up, but like, what do you think the outdoors naturally teaches our kids? And, outside of us having any influence on it, what's some of the things that you think that, just getting our kids involved in the outdoors that they can learn from that?
I would just say like a real general sense of just appreciation. I think that, I think the more time you're just out in the outdoors, like with your kids, like this is kind of, I'm going to roll with it, but this is kind of like what I'm talking about is like the summer, like we moved to La Crosse and, we lived on the river this summer and, going out with like the Linharts or just going out on the boat, our own boat on the weekends or even just weeknights. Cause it's like the worst time of year right now. Cause it's dark by 4:30. And then you think about the summertime where you're like, oh, it's 5:00. Let's go out on the river. We still got 4.5 hours of daylight, but just like, like all of a sudden Liam one day, like a few weeks to a month we were living here. He's just like, I love being on vacation. It's like, oh, he sees all this fun that we're having outside that we're doing way more of than we ever do as like makes him happy. You know what I mean? So then like that correlation is going to come into his own head someday, or maybe it already has. Who knows with a 5-year-old? They're kind of deep thinkers sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But but like, just like he asked me to like today, like on the way home, it's pitch dark, it's raining, and we're, going home from wrestling. He's like, I really want to go ice fishing right now. I'm like, can we go? He's like, can we go tonight? I'm like, well, no. Two things. It's terrible weather out right now, and I don't like ice fishing, but, but no, like I would say that. But like, just like you start to like have your kids ask you to do things outdoors, and that's where I would say like, that general sense of appreciation because they feel free out there. They feel happy out there. And that's where, that's where that appreciation just naturally is going to come out where you just could be a kid. And I think you can, that's what we get too. Like we get to be a kid again in the outdoors where we can just, the phone goes away, the work emails go away, the stress goes away. You're just living, man. And just, I think the outdoors just gives back what adulthood tries to take from us, And
that's kind of where I was going to go with it. I mean, like, it's crazy to see. And, like, we're not perfect. I mean, like, when we're on long trips, Nora gets to sit and watch her tablet.
Oh, and I'm bringing the iPad with when we go up to Ely this weekend.
We're watching movies and all that. But, like, it's amazing to me, like, the moment. And usually after about 15 minutes, it usually goes away. Of where it's like, oh, Dad, can I watch? Like, just even the other night, we were out ice fishing. She's like, caught 2 fish. And then she's like, Dad, can I watch a show? And I'm like, no. Yeah. You know what? The phone doesn't work out here. Oh, really? I'm like,
the ice.
Yeah,
no
it doesn't.
Yeah.
But then after about 15 minutes, it was like all of a sudden her mind, just like when we do the same thing at the house, if we're all sent the creativity is just like, oh, I'm going to go color. I'm going to go play with my Barbies. Like just her imagination starts to flow. So I think that's the beauty that I think that we tried to find that out there. But it's amazing to see the influence that our kids already have on that side of things of where it's like just getting them outside takes away all that stuff and gets them back to what you're basically just talking about, like those core roots of just like being a kid, playing in the dirt and the mud and just
I love digging in the sand and building sandcastles and canals and all that fun stuff.
Unless your child destroys them and you spent 15 minutes building a sandcastle. That infuriates me.
That's like freaking magnetiles or Lincoln logs.
Oh
like,
my God.
It was just like, you're literally like building your thing like this. You're like, get away, Godzilla. Like, I need to finish this.
Stay away.
Yeah, their favorite, and boys, I'm sure with girls, but like for sure with boys, but like their favorite part about that is demo time where like,
oh yeah.
They're like, Dad, is it done? I'm like, no, I still need to build this tower right. And they're like, it's done. And I'm like, shit, here it comes. Whoa. Or they drive a truck into the side. But yeah. Gotta love that.
So tell me, just kind of a closing thought here before we wrap it up. Just
knock it on.
What are some of the values or faith or anything like that that you really look forward to most passing down to your boys?
Values and... What was the second part of that? Sorry.
Just your faith.
Just the faith. Shouldn't say just the faith. It's such a good one. I could go a lot of ways with this. I'm going to go this one. I would say the intentionality of both. You have to be very intentional with, your values, like just the simple stuff, like holding the door open or, for an older couple, just, that kind of, just those simple values, but those build your character at the foundation, and that's stuff you get from your, parents, your grandparents. And so just like my own self of like, I need to instill the right values in my children. But then again, it's that ownership piece, like our faith, where we have to be intentional with continuing those things. Like at a certain point, like you're going to let your kids free and it's flight or flight. I think I said flight or flight, flight or fleet. You know what I mean? Like they're either going to fly or they are going to, quiver. And as hard as that is sometimes to watch, like as hard as it was tonight to watch Liam bawling on a wrestling mat in front of 30 other kids, I'm like, nope, we got to figure, we're going to figure this out. Like you're going to be all right. And then by the end of the practice, like you just said, like with ice fishing, like he's happy and he's running around, laughing, tackling kids, throwing double legs. I'm like, that's the stuff that matters. And then, like the faith side, again, it's that intentionality of like, I can only do so much right now. He still lives under my roof of, going to mass and having those conversations with him. But at the same time, eventually, he's going to go out in the world on his own, and he's either going to decide, not to or to follow his faith and be intentional with it. And, we can only do so much. And there's a lot of stuff that you need to be able to do and need to be able to provide for your children. But, there is that free will piece that God gave each of us that, we all have. And, hopefully, if they struggle in life someday down the road, that they know that they have, always have two people that they can reach out to, God and then their parents.
Amen, dude. That's good. Love it.
There you go.
Should we close her out with the prayer and we'll let people enter?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Forgot I had my hood on.
Got a hoodie.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Classic Dave move. All right.
Classic Dave move. And go.
And Ron? No. Yeah. Okay. Oh, dear Lord, we come to you as thankful men for the beautiful families that you've given us, for two perfect wives that support us in this endeavor and full-heartedly have our backs through all this, Lord. We just thank you for all the blessings that you put in our life, and that we were able to be risen up through our own house faiths with our families and with our friends and stuff. And Lord, we come to you grateful and thankful that you've given us all these blessings, and we just say thank you and amen.
Amen. Amen. Love it. The good one.
It's good stuff, man. I like those ones.
Heck yeah. Well, guys, thanks again for listening. And just as a little side note here, we are 5 episodes away from 100.
Yes,
we've done way more than 100, but in terms of like official podcasts, we're almost to 100. So we'll do something special.
Yeah.
I don't know what yet, but we will do something special. So I'm excited
giving
for
away
it.
a Ford F-150 Raptor. Just kidding. Hard just kidding. Don't clip that one.
That could be. We need to talk to our lawyers.
Gotta find a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is what I gotta do.
Someday.
Yeah.
Maybe. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for listening, and we'll